Welcome to another episode of The Velvet Hammer.
And here we go.
Well, this is a long-promised book review recommended by some of our coaching therapy people. This very wonderful book is called A Woman's Guide to Power, Unbound, by Kasia Urbaniak, co-founder of the Academy. What is the Academy? What is the Academy? Well, let me just read her bio.
Read her description.
Kasia Urbaniak is the founder and head mistress of the Academy, a secret school that teaches women to fully embody their confidence and power. Her teaching, based on insights from working as an expert dominatrix and her training to become a Taoist nun, have been profiled in the New York Times, The Cut, The Guardian, and elsewhere. Through her courses, corporate sessions, and more, she has trained thousands of artists and politicians, philanthropists, aid workers, lawyers, and judges. I specifically like the way she looks with her head down and her eyes up. All right. Well, this was quite the story, and I think that should be required reading for everybody in the world to understand some of these principles. But I really also think that since this is a book for supposedly women, that the men in the room who have now read it can lead this discussion. Okay, but you've read half of it, yeah, which is about as much as I read. All right.
Yeah.
I liked it.
What'd you like about it?
Well, I like the whole dom part.
What do you mean by the whole dom part?
I like being the dominant.
Oh.
No, I thought it was the give and take, the power thing, and I think that also there's different spheres and different times for different elements. So there's work, there's personal. What's the difference between work? Is there anything else other than work and personal? There's work and there's personal.
But what do you like about the dom part?
Well, I like telling people what to do and people doing it.
Why do you like doing that?
Because I like being in control.
That's it? That is the only reason?
Yes, I like things to turn out the way I want to. Let me give you an example. On Saturday, I came to the office to write a brief, but I went to the kitchen, opened the fridge door, and said, "This is gross." And without giving a warning, like Mike normally gives these lovely warnings, like, "I'm going to clean the refrigerator at the end of the week. Please remove your items." I said to myself, I'm the boss. And I got 2 garbage cans, and I started looking at the expiration dates, and I drained all the liquids in the sink, and I threw away 99.5% of every single thing in that filthy fridge. And then I told people that I did that.
Is that because you said you're the boss? You felt in power?
Yes.
Okay. How did you exercise that power? Just throw the food away?
Yes, I threw it all away.
What else did you do other than throw the food away?
I took a picture and sent it to the office.
Why did you do that?
Because I wanted them to understand that I was in control of the refrigerator.
What gave you more power, the picture, sending it to everybody, or the act of throwing everything away?
Probably the picture.
The picture? Why the picture?
Because they got to see it all at the same time.
What does it have to do with them seeing it that gave you the power?
Because that moment of letting them all see my powerful decisions to throw away food that dated back to January of 2024. No, there was something that was December of 23 that it was a decree. It was not a deliberated process. It was my decree.
Did it fulfill a desire?
Yes.
Did you feel pleasure?
I did.
Tell me about the pleasure.
Pleasure is I hate mess. I hate yucky stuff. I don't like it when people don't clean up after themselves. Everybody knows this about me in the office, especially Mike. Mike, can you please give the list of everything that I have at one point or another, most things, directed to be cleaned up, primarily by you, but I'm in there. I will roll up my sleeves and do it myself.
Well, it's even further than that. If you see other people's offices, you've instructed them that they needed to clean up,
and sometimes just done part of it for them. Yeah. Though I would say that that's not exactly dominance.
It's not. I'm letting him go down this thing, but that's not what she's talking about.
No. That's
just-
one of the things.
That's just me being bossy.
One of the things that's very important in that to recognize, and I think is one of the points that she drives home a lot, is that power isn't dominance, it's influence. That power is receiving and directing. And most people, I mean, that was when Mo and I were discussing this before you got here. That's where also the submissives have a lot of power, sometimes even more power.
And people miss that. People only see the loud person stomping around, throwing the food out of the fridge. They think that's the dominance. But it's not.
What is it then?
You tell me. You read the book.
For me, I think that it has to do with relationships. That's the dominant submissive relationship is about communication and relationship. And it really tells you that everybody, every day, every moment is seeking some form of pleasure and seeking to fulfill their desires. And the more they know what the hell those things are, and the sooner they come to grips with them, they're going to be comfortable in their own skin and be able to communicate that to people in some coherent way.
Well, let's go back to the very beginning, because she does talk about being a dominatrix.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just talk about, what is that? Let's start there. And this isn't like some novel thing. And what's interesting is she's just taking these principles and bringing them more, to a forum where you can look at it more as the dynamics of power between people, right? And how you achieve, your desire, your pleasure.
Yeah.
But talk about some of her origins. And why is it, what led her to believe that it was something that could help corporate people, lawyers, judges, decision makers, just people in general?
I think, the book is written to a female audience, but I think men will get a lot of benefit from reading it. That women are playing into the cultural norms of what is perceived to be a good girl, which is the term she uses. What does it mean to be a good girl?
What does it mean to be a good girl?
It means to, keep the house, make everything nice. Don't speak too loud. Don't voice your objections. Don't be too assertive, because society judges men by what they accomplish, and it judges women by who they are.
And the thing about it
That's
is
why.
that, as Mike already said, there is nothing that's inherently not powerful about being more subservient, ultimately. But is that all that you are, or is that all that you're capable of? It? And is that the best way to get what you are desiring?
Yeah, what she's saying is that understanding it and why you do it will help you accomplish things that you want, like elevate yourself or exercise power over your life, over a situation. It's that you're not
Why
gonna...
does somebody go to a dominatrix?
Yeah.
Well, because they want to often submit is what they want.
And why do they want to submit?
Because that's where they get pleasure from. They like to be controlled. And we could go even further into the sexual aspect of them liking what the dominatrix does to them, which could be lots of different things. It's not, it's not sexual in the way that most people would think of it when I say that word. It can be, I mean, there's the monetary dominance where the guys just give them money and they don't, they're not doing anything else. Often they don't meet these days. They do it all online. So it's just somebody giving money to them because that's what makes them feel good.
Yeah.
And, you can go into a lot of other things that they do, but I would say that first and foremost, the relationship between the dominant and submissive in the sex worker aspect is that it's a business relationship also, in that if you're getting something else from them, like, I'm not going to go too graphic, but say you want them to make you do something that most people wouldn't want to do.
Yes.
And that is what makes you feel good when somebody says, do this, and it's something that you wouldn't want, or that most people wouldn't want to do. But it's trusting that they're going to do that and only that, and that they're going to keep that secret for you too. And I think that's where the transaction of it comes in.
Okay, so in that context, which is the dom-sub transactional relationship, it has a lot to do, I think. I haven't done it, but I know people who do it. It's being in a space that's private and expressing your desires in a safe space, and then not having to take it home and take it to your regular life, because your regular life would not tolerate it. What she talks about is that why do you do that? Why do you not want your real life to know what your real desires are? What is it about you that's like editing you? And is that really what you want? And is it really helping you fulfill the best version of who you want to be? And she, I think, suggests that you don't need to hide these things. You don't need to like these desires. You can find a way to express them. And a lot of the time people won't even realize it, that you're doing it. You're actually in, I like the word she uses. She says congruence.
Yeah.
I love that word.
What is congruence?
Want to be in congruence with each other.
And congruence
means that when we're talking, we are actually talking to each other. That I'm speaking with you. Doesn't even have to be a sexual thing.
Well,
physically, I'm talking.
Let's
to
just
you.
assume that it's not a sexual.
Yeah,
thing.
it's not a sexual thing. But like when you're in relationship in any context, that you are really present and you are physically communicating your needs to the other person, and that is why people go, I think, to these private little rooms to have somebody tie them up or do whatever, give money, berate them, or touch them with a feather, whatever they want to do, is that they don't even have maybe a semblance of that in their day-to-day lives. And you can have it all the time. You can have it in any interaction.
But that was the thing. She at one point she talks about desire and how you don't control your desires. You don't have any choice over what your desires are.
Such a good point right there. Let's just pause on that one because there's so much shame that follows people around, which is why they don't want to talk to other people, especially the people that are, we talked about the outside the moat in the castle, in breach the castle walls, getting to your privacy. Why the most unsafe you feel is inside your own private space with other people.
Yes.
Because you think like, this is odd, I'm weird for thinking like this is embarrassing, I don't want them to feel bad, so you're protecting not only yourself, but you're trying to protect the other person, you're making all these assumptions, and before you know it, you've shamed yourself right out of that reality. Like your desires do not fit in the reality of what is acceptable to you. So they go somewhere else. They go either internal, never to be expressed, or in her world of dominatrix, she was able to provide a safe trusted space, just like an attorney would provide a safe, trusted space for people to tell her their desires and have her go from there.
It's also communication is really key in that. You're opening your communication all the way up at that point as the submissive, and you're giving them the comfort to be able to do that when you're the dom. And that's also one of the reasons, that's the power. That's one side of the power, is the submissive feeling comfortable enough to be able to admit their deepest secret desires.
Yeah.
Which sometimes, I've heard about people going to dominatrix and not really knowing how much they actually needed that until after they've experienced it.
I think Western society understands the actual dom sub the way we understand it better, but because it's just so concrete, like it's like physical dominating versus physically submitting to somebody.
It's been portrayed, of course, in movies and TV and social. You see the imagery,
Yeah.
But the true understanding of the more sociological, or whatever you want to call it, psychological, it's really, I've never seen it really explained before this
neither have I.
book. And it's really, that's the stuff that we know is so peripheral. It doesn't really, it's just an image. So when you're talking about dom sub, you're just thinking collar around the neck, chains, handcuffs.
Even people within that world don't know a lot of that. People who are dominatrix, people who are submissives, people who are switches, and participate in that world. There aren't that many. You have to have been doing it for a while before you get to where she is. You don't learn that stuff right away.
She's not a novice.
No, that takes years, and some people don't make it that far because it's too hard. Being able to change everything that you've been programmed to as a human is to hide that stuff, and some people think they want to go down that road, and it's too hard.
So part number one of this conversation was just kind of talk about what is dom, what is sub. The second part, and the fact that she was a dominatrix. The second issue is she's also a Taoist monk, or she went through Taoist monk training. How does that interact with this dominatrix? Like, how did that make her? But did she do it to become a better dominatrix? Was it completely separated? Like, what was that journey, and why are the two combined so interesting?
The Eastern philosophy of the yin and the yang is very much similar, has some similar qualities to the dom-sub relationship. Understanding the sort of the counter-positioning of men and women and how they relate to each other. That's been like forever, has been around. So she kind of brings this Eastern philosophy to it, of thinking about it. And she has difficulty teaching it to, people from the West because they don't connect with Taoist philosophy. That's why she used the traditional more dom-sub relationship to do that. But, when you go through her teaching exercises on how to do what she's suggesting, on how to incorporate the dom-sub qualities in your day-to-day life, you realize, at least I realized, that I've been doing this for a long time.
I knew that. When I read it, because, we're older people. I'm way older than you, but I'm older. Yeah. And so going through it, I'm like, well, my patterns, you could see yourself in there and how that all was working out for you sometimes. And especially for me, it's very interesting because of the differences between how I am in work and how I am as a person.
Yeah.
On a personal level. I'm not a dom in my personal life. Not very much. I still am to a certain extent, but not as much as you would think. I
think for me it was just that I am the one exercise that I thought was quite helpful is understanding what is my desire in this interaction, and trying to like think about that before going into the interaction. And then secondly, being present and watching what she is talking about, which is dominating into a conversation, into a relationship actively, or submitting to it, something as subtle as a conversation. And that's been fun. So
for me, what resonated, because I read it a lot longer than you guys did. I read it like 2 years ago, so I don't remember all the details. But for me, it's a transfer of energy, which I understand, and I can feel that. It's the how energy moves between people.
how does it move?
Well, and that was something that was when you brought up the yin and yang. Yeah. That was part of the Taoist principle that she was describing. How it's a circle with the wavy lines, and it's moving. Yeah. The relationship has to be fluid.
Yes.
If it gets stagnant in the Eastern philosophy, that's where, they were saying in medical philosophy, that's where something bad is happening because it's stagnated.
Incongruence.
Exactly.
Yeah. That part, I immediately realize, like in the last week, I've been very conscious about it. If I feel that I'm in an interaction and there's incongruence, I end the interaction.
Okay.
Very gracefully.
Give us an example of how you would have been before. And
I would have been like clueless.
like, give us an example.
Oh, yes, I can give you an example. I'm talking to somebody, but they're not really physically present and are not listening. They're thinking about, I can tell the way they're looking at me.
Okay, so you're in person, and you can tell that person's energy is directed somewhere else.
Directed somewhere else, and then I start to feel a little bit uneasy. What's going on? Is this about me? Why are we not connected? And then I realize is that now I understand that, no, we're incongruent at this moment in time. For whatever reason. It may be a legitimate distraction. But then what she says is that how you exercise power over that situation is that you just end it. And then so I just end it and I walk.
I mean, for those not watching the video, which is most of you, you're missing his facial expressions.
It's true.
Yeah.
It looks like you feel empowered by that.
Yeah, I do. A lot.
I mean, how does it make you feel? How did it make you feel to do that?
Oh, it felt glorious.
Like, because before you would stay in there and get more anxious and keep talking more and trying to capture their attention and
look at me
and start wondering, is there something wrong with you?
Yeah.
And start circling out,
ruminating,
all of that
spiraling.
Stuff is going on. You're just yapping at the same time. But you were able to, I mean, you look very self-satisfied when you said that.
Yeah.
So it made you feel powerful.
Yes.
Over what?
Over myself and my desires. Complete agency. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you've made the first step.
First step.
Okay.
First step. It's an exercise. You got to keep doing the exercises. Yeah. But do them at the coffee shop.
Okay, well, you moved on because I wanted to go through through Dom, through Taoist, and now you've moved on. We're moving on, and you're making a good move. Don't apologize. To examples of how does some of these principles work? So you gave us one example.
Yeah. I mean, the other one is, go ahead.
One thing that I was going to add before we go on is, at one point she said one of the most important things for a Dom is allowing your animal body to feel theirs. And that's the thing that I think is very important. Is
wait, Mike, I want you to say that one more time.
Letting their animal body feel what's going on in theirs.
Okay, I like it.
And I mean, those terms I wouldn't use if I was talking about this before I looked at that book.
Yeah.
But I think that's one of the things that I've always been really good at.
What does that mean?
It means body. I mean, I think that's like your lizard brain or whatever. It's the animal part of all of us that's inside. And I think I've been really good at, like, that's the way that I can connect to people. I can feel them a lot.
Yeah.
So I think that's part of it, is being able to either Well, I think that people that are good DOMs can do that while they're still there. It's almost like compassion in a way or something, where you're able to get inside what they feel,
Yes.
And then what you do with that is what's important in those relationships, because some people use that badly. They use that negatively. But in the Dom sub relationship, I mean, that's why a lot of people can say that that's the best relationship they've ever had, because it's everything. It's all, you've allowed yourself, the Dom is able to feel what's inside you, and the sub is able to communicate that to the Dom.
Yes.
And knowing that that's working creates that fluidity.
Well said. I agree.
Where
Yes.
are you, Karen?
Where are you, Karen?
Oh, I'm thinking that Mo's going to run out and get a Dom.
I'm going to go get a Dom.
Well, because we did ChatGPT.
Oh,
Here's a ChatGPT.
AI said that.
No, our ChatGPTs on like, what are our biggest fears, and what is our curse
Without explanation.
I did it. And I was like, what?
What is yours? You never even told
I
me.
still haven't. I mean, it was like, is this really my curse? My daughter did it for me, but on my own phone so that it would know. And it was like something I would never have thought of, and I still don't even know that it's right. But it said that my biggest curse was the fear of being lonely, which I don't even ever think of being lonely. And then we looked at it more, and it was like abandonment. I'm thinking like, why? I don't feel that way. Do I feel that way? And now I'm thinking like, do I feel that way? So I need to explore that. We'll have a whole analysis of me later. But I made Mo do it.
Mine was to always understand others but never be understood. Now, I don't take that to mean I'm a sub. I think, based on my read
I'm
of
not
her
saying
book.
that you're a sub. I'm just saying, now that you're listening to this thing, that you could be completely understood by a Dom. You asked me what I was thinking?
Oh, yeah.
You know how my mind works. That's
Yeah,
what I was
it's
thinking.
nonlinear.
But I was completely dialed into what he was thinking, but I was thinking through what he was saying about what that ChatGPT said about but truly, for your own enlightenment, this is the prompt. What is my curse without explanation?
And see what it says. It's kind of funny. I guess
It
it kind
wasn't
of
funny. Now I'm
it's
thinking
kind of
like-
profound.
Yeah.
It's interesting because there's a musician named Brian Eno, and I can't remember the other guy that he did it with, but they came up with a series of cards called oblique strategies.
Yeah.
And it was the same deal. It was, for them, it was to work as a tool when they were in the recording studio. So say you get to a point where you're at a block, you don't know what to do. Draw one of the cards. They have preset statements that are very similar to what the AI just told you.
Yeah.
Where it sounds sometimes like nonsense almost, but if you try to apply that to the situation that you're in, that it can answer the question.
Yes.
And I mean, I've looked at the oblique strategies cards, and I wouldn't say that it's ever helped me, but I know a lot of people that
Interesting.
swear by it.
Well, this is like the fortune cookie thing.
Yeah.
Like when you open a fortune cookie, it says these universal things, and then you want it to bring meaning to something that's going on in your mind, and there'll be a connection.
Well, and like there's lots of stuff like that. I mean,
yeah.
Astrology, palm reading, all that kind of stuff. Some of it's just
But-
scamming, but people that believe in it for those reasons.
Okay, but
something about AI.
Back to Dom subs.
Yeah, what about
Yeah,
Dom
exactly.
subs?
Well,
Don't
that's
go
what we were
too far.
talking about, but I got,
You got a little distracted.
Well, I wasn't distracted. I was focused, but then you distracted us by asking what I was distracted about, but I wasn't distracted. I was focused on that, but through the lens of that, and this is how it happens. The intricacies of our minds.
We're getting a little esoteric now, but
All right. So any other, do we have one more example that we can, it's just a good read. It's very interesting.
oh yeah, like I said, I mean, I haven't finished it yet, but it is a self-help book. So sometimes the like activities turn me off a little bit.
I don't do them.
Yeah,
But Mo has.
I tend to blast by some of those.
Mo, did you do another exercise?
Well, the one that I love, I wrote it down, is being deliberate with your attention to help me navigate my conversation. My conversation. So being very deliberate with my attention. So that exercise that she speaks to is that you have to literally pay attention to the person's body, eyes. It helps me navigate the conversation. And I actually started it at the beginning of this with her.
Did it change something?
Huh?
Did it change?
No, I just was playing, trying to see how
Did it change?
A little bit.
You were looking at me weird. I was like, what's up with him?
A weird look?
It was kind of weird.
Now, why do you think it was weird?
There he's doing it.
Why do you think it was
He's
weird?
trying to out-Spock me, but I am the master Spock.
But the only reason you just said that is I revealed it to you.
No, but I already knew. Like, you were like looking at me and not blinking.
I feel like some examples, I guess where I was going to go is what's interesting about the book is trying to take those things, those relationships, those terms that she's talking about, and use them in everyday life is what
Correct.
the book is for.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
Yes.
especially because it's directed at women
Yeah.
who are traditionally, like I was telling Mo before you got here, like even the yin yang description that represents in a way male female. So like almost all religions, and I think she says this at one point, have an aspect which is pushing women down.
Yeah.
And
Or the feminine.
the feminine,
Masculine, feminine.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that being able to then apply this type of thinking when you're in real world situations, just like you said, you tried to do that here in a way. Karen recognized it right away and said that it was weird. Getting to where you can do that in real life and people aren't realizing it,
Yeah.
is where it's really working.
Yeah.
And part of that, and for the women, is being able to recognize what power is and how to
Yeah.
utilize it, whether it's giving or receiving. And that's something, I mean, this is something that I've worked on for a long time.
Yeah.
Because, you know, a part of my, you know, I don't know that it's neurodivergence, but like I don't like to have eye contact most of the time.
Yeah.
It used to be really hard for me.
Yeah.
I've kind of reprogrammed myself, but you'll notice sometimes where I'll be in the middle of a conversation
Yeah.
and I just look away. Or
Always.
often when I catch people's eyes, I'll look away.
I do know that. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just, I think part of it is because when I do look at people, I start to make the connection. And it just kind of happens.
Yeah.
But I don't like to do that in everything. Like, you know, like that's one of the reasons why I don't like, it's odd because I like to be a performer, but I also don't like to be around crowds most of the time. And it's because for me, I can feel everything. You know, I can feel all the people and I don't, that's too much, you know, it's overstimulation kind of. But on the basic level, one of the things that I've really tried to do is get myself more comfortable with that.
Yeah.
And force myself to look at people in the eyes and not just be paying attention to the cues that I can pay attention to when I'm not staring at them.
You'd be completely at home in Asia.
Yeah.
But you live
No, I
here
know.
in the United States where direct eye contact is part of our culture
Yeah.
of normalcy. But in Asia, you would like, if we did what we, you know.
Well, and I would say, especially in Japan, this stuff that we're talking about is a huge part of their society as a whole. Yeah. Like dominance and submission is a big part of their society.
Yeah.
And, you know, some might say they've got it figured out better than we do because, you know, there's parts of their society that might be working better right now than ours.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Any last famous words before we go from there?
No.
All right. Well, dear Katia, whatever her name is, I have
Kasia.
Kasia, I got that completely wrong. I have highly recommended your book to all people. I think it's very interesting to get a different viewpoint. I didn't expect that one, and I like it. It's different. It's something to think about.
Especially for men.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree that, and I would say this book isn't just for women.
It certainly isn't.
It can be for everyone.
No.
And I think that, especially dominant, people who think they're dominant
Yeah.
could benefit from reading this quite a bit.
Well, let's end with that, because the prototype lawyer is someone that is completely directive, that is unilateral, that's stridently aggressive,
I'm a man. I'm a plaintiff's lawyer. Look at me.
and that
Taking control.
I'm in charge.
that preaches, that orates, that.
Let me tell you what you need. Let me tell you what to do.
And the reality is that if they're not in a relationship,
No, they're not really dominant. Is the reality?
yeah, they're just stomping around.
Yeah, they're just huffing and puffing at that point.
Because you have to be in a relationship.
Yes, it has to be communication between two or more people, and it has to go both ways too. You can't be just the person who's directing. You have to be willing to react to your direction and how it's been received.
Yes.
Perfect.
Good.
Well, that's all for today.
Until next time.